Hey, everybody, welcome in. It's The Drive on the Fan Sports Network. It's a Throwdown Thursday. Paulie, how much do we love our Thursdays?
A lot. You're on your feet. You love it so much.
Thursdays! Let's go. It's a Throwdown show today. We are loaded on the Fan Sports Network. Paulie, I don't know how, but we've got an incredible lineup of guests today. You must have worked feverishly putting these together because we've got Ken Beezer, athletic director of Utah Tech University, joining us on the program today. This could be an interesting conversation.
It will be. The new conference destination for men, for soccer and for baseball. Should be an interesting announcement he makes.
Yep. The press conference was yesterday at 1 o'clock, and if you haven't heard, they're headed to the Mountain West Conference in a couple sports that the Big Sky Conference didn't offer. So everybody's going to the Big Sky, but baseball, men's soccer, those are, I think swimming is the other one. There's a couple sports that the Big Sky does not offer, and they found a new home. And the Mountain West, the rivalry with GCU continues in baseball. I kind of like that.
I like that too.
I kind of like that. Of course, there's a lot of movement out west with realignment. So we'll get into that. That'll be 7:30-ish. Ken Beezer will be by the show. 8 o'clock, we got some state champs in the building, Paulie. The Desert Hills volleyball team.
Cue up the We the Best around.
Yes, we better do it.
Yeah. Who was it again? Joe Esposito?
That's right.
Yeah. That's right. I remember now.
Just call it the theme song from Karate Kid. We'll cue it up, and we'll have some state champs in the building. Something that I was fortunate enough to have as a state championship as a high school athlete. Tara, were you a state champion? I don't know the answer to this question, so I'm asking it out loud. Did you win a state championship in any sport in high school?
No, won a national championship, though, in cheerleading.
Okay. Couldn't even win the state championship, but you just skipped that and went to the nationals, or what?
Yeah, back then they didn't have like state competitions or anything for that.
I wonder why. That's weird. Oh, you must have grew up in Idaho or something.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know, right?
I love Idaho. It's right next
Great
to Washington.
guess.
Great, the part of the Northwest. So that'll be fun. Desert Hills Volleyball. Lee Sterling will be by ParamountSports.com. He'll pick some winners, guaranteed, on the program today. In between that, World Series talk, Utah Jazz talk, and a whole bunch more. We got a Thursday NFL game tonight. We'll get Prediction P's absolute blowout winner from him. You know he's going to make some picks. We got some more hockey to talk about tonight. It's going to be a great show today, guys.
Will be fun. Absolutely.
We're excited.
All fired up. Let's get into a couple things here, and let's start with the best thing we saw in sports yesterday. Let's do it first. You know, sometimes the best thing I see doesn't always end up in a win. Best thing I saw yesterday was this young core of the Utah Jazz down going to the fourth quarter, back and forth, seesaw battle, a lot of lead changes, a lot of game momentum swings. They're at home last night. They're 2-1 on the young season. Don't tell this Utah Jazz team that they can't go win some games this year. They're playing for Will Hardy. They're at home, and they've got a pretty good upstart Portland Trailblazer team that's kind of rekindled a little something out in Portland. They've got some new faces, some new players, some new young talent themselves. They feel like they're on track and fast-tracking the rebuild process as well. And what a game at the Delta Center last night. When the dust settled, the Jazz lose 136 to 104, or to 134. They lose by 2 points.
Yep.
But the fight, the heart, they're still 2-2 on the season. There is reason to be optimistic in Utah. Lauri Markkanen is playing inspired basketball. Dropped another 32 last night. Really like what Walker Kessler's doing. 18 and 12, just eating glass with a double-double. Good night for Nurkic off the bench. You had Keontae George get going, 29 points. That was maybe arguably his best performance of the year, and he had 8 helpers as well. Oh, and the only thing about Keontae last night was the turnover was a little bit high. But sometimes in a loss, there is silver lining, and there's still something to be excited for. I'm watching that game last night. I'm tracking that score last night, and I was absolutely encouraged at the way the Utah Jazz are competing right now. I think Utah fans can be excited about the direction the Utah Jazz are heading. Now, is it too early to get too gung-ho? Are they going to beat Oklahoma City in the Northwest standings? No, probably not. But can they fight up there with Portland? Absolutely. If last night is any indication, sure, Denver's really good, but maybe, just maybe, either Utah or Portland can get into a play-in game this year. Who's to tell these young guys that they can't accomplish something like that and taste the postseason, which would give them a little fuel for the fire? So I was actually optimistic in a loss last night, and it was the best thing I saw was the effort from the young guys for the Utah Jazz against an upstart Portland Trailblazer team.
All right. That's a good one. I like that. All right, I got one. This was a statement Nick Saban made to, I believe, On3 Sports' Chris Lowe, senior writer and CFB reporter. This is an interesting stuff with there's starting to be G League players that are allowed to play in college. I don't know if you're seeing that or not.
Yeah.
But Nick Saban put his foot down on that, and I'm kind of a big fan of that because G League guys are pros. I mean, they're not kids anymore. They've decided to go a different route to play for G League, Ignite, or whatever team they decide to play for. But this was his quote to Lowe yesterday. We're getting G League players come play in college now. Pretty soon we're going to have the New York Giants backup quarterback not getting enough development, so we're going to send him to Penn State or somewhere else for a year to play. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Why not make these kids professionals, treat them like professionals, and collective bargain the whole thing?
Yeah.
I think that Saban's
I've been
out in
saying
front
that
of
for
this.
years.
Yeah, he's out in front of this.
I've been saying for years we need a salary cap and we need a CBA and we need an agreement. And then there needs to be a level playing field. And we need to split up the NIL dollars. It needs to be divvied up and go into a kitty. And guys can use it to start businesses and not just piss it away on expensive cars in college. Like, I've been saying there needs to be guidelines from the start on this. And it just takes somebody like Nick Saban saying it for everybody to go, you know what? You're probably right.
That's right. Saban, a little higher Q rating than you, buddy.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just saying, you are, a local celebrity, but Saban is
you know what my favorite
big name.
My favorite quote from Nick Saban was we was talking about the media picking Alabama to win. You've been wrong 5 years in a row, and every year we've won it, and you haven't picked us. But I'm rooting for you. When he's talking about the preseason polls, he used to hate those things, man.
Yeah.
He's got some really good quotes. He's very quotable.
Saban's good. He had another one on Lane Kiffin, who obviously worked for him as the OC at Alabama for a number of years. And he was talking about the Ole Miss and Florida jobs, or the LSU or Florida jobs that are open. And obviously Lane Kiffin is a hot name to take both of those jobs.
I don't see it, Paulie.
And that's what Saban says. Jobs that weren't great jobs before are now. Lane is the first name up for Florida and the first name up for LSU. But I think you have a long debate on whether either one of those jobs is actually better than the job he has now, because he has some guys over there at Ole Miss that gave him pretty much whatever he wants from a roster standpoint. Maybe you've got alumni who are passionate about football, but are they willing to invest what you need to invest now to win? Because a lot of people don't believe in this S is what he used. But, so, I mean, Nick Saban was pretty candid talking about the evolution, the changing landscape in college football. And yeah, maybe the LSU and Florida jobs were great years ago. And like when Nick Saban was the coach of LSU and Les Miles and Ed Orgeron, they all won national titles. But Brian Kelly set the program back. I mean, LSU's hurting right now.
Yeah, I don't like where college sports is headed. I've been saying that for the last couple of years. I do not like it. I like the product, and I forget about it on Saturdays when I'm watching the
when
game.
The lights are on, I don't care.
Yeah.
But all this stuff, Monday through Friday through the week, you hear about all the problems, all the things that need to be changed.
And the media scrutiny is more than ever so.
Yeah, but it's right, though. The scrutiny is right. The product is great, but the game is messed up right now.
Yeah.
It truly is. I remember the days when I was growing up when you couldn't even give a kid a candy bar or a $20 handshake.
Yeah.
And now you're giving millions of dollars to kids.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is just totally done the polar opposite.
I remember trying to buy lunch at a fundraiser golf tournament or something, or buy a round of drinks or something, and I was like, oh, I can't accept that.
Yeah.
Like college kids were trained like
it was a recruiting violation. Accept any impermissible benefits.
And you're just thinking, I'm just going to be a nice guy and buy everybody in my group a drink from the cart bev lady, and it's like, no, thanks, but I can't do that. I can't accept that.
Exactly.
And now
it's gone from that.
They got their hand out, and
Yeah.
the first recruiting question is, Coach, how much NIL money do you got for me?
Exactly.
And what does that do for our young athletes? What does that really do for our young athletes? I mean,
And like this
there's a sense of self-worth. There's this sense of self-confidence. They're not, eating ramen noodles at the cafeteria and going hungry. But what does it really do for our young? They're getting paid like professionals. They may as well have the CBA, and they may have all the things that come with getting paid like a professional.
But you just type in G League to the NCAA.
Once you turn pro, you can't go back to college.
That's right.
You can't go back to college, Paulie. We don't even need to talk about this.
Joe Tipton, who's the national basketball reporter for On 3 Sports, he's got all these guys like G League looking to make the jump from G League, current G League pro, like all these posts about these guys looking at college basketball and like they're pros.
This Tipton guy found a loophole. And nobody else is really doing this, and he can get pushed through, and he can make money. He ain't doing this not to make money. And that's where I'm like, wait a minute, what are we doing here, right? Is this guy an agent? Who is this guy?
Tipton?
Yeah.
He just puts out all the posts when guys commit. That's all he does.
Oh, he's not the guy pushing them back into.
That's him.
Oh, I thought you were referring.
He's the one who creates.
But there's
got to
be somebody that got to these G League players and said, "Hey, listen,
oh yeah, handlers.
You're not getting the call up. Why don't we go make a couple million more
in college?
In college, we can get this pushed through. You still have a couple years of eligibility. We can get a waiver.
Because if you're playing for G League Ignite, you're pretty good.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, both those Thompson brothers they're pretty good in the NBA now. They were both on G League Ignite. There's been a lot of G League players that have made the jump to the pros and been good players. So I don't think this is fair. I mean, I think you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want to go to the pros, go to the pros. Be paid the salary and never look back at college. But don't go to the pros.
Wait a minute. Tara has her cake and eats it too every single day she walks the earth. That's not true, Paul.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What do you think? That's a compliment.
Oh, okay.
That's a compliment. Like, but man, she's got it going on. Like,
oh, okay.
I mean, have you seen her in the batting cage? She's got a great family. She's hanging out with us on Sports Talk Radio. She's got her cake. She's eating it
And
too.
I'm eating it.
She's eating it.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't think that G League. While I let Tara eat her cake too because she's a good friend, I don't want these G League players. To eat
once
their cake.
you'd make
you go pro, you
in
can't
life,
go back.
there's choices. You made a choice to forego college to chase
play.
the paycheck, to chase the NBA quicker. You felt like you were NBA ready. Now you're not, so you want to go back and capitalize financially. There's more money in college than the G League, it
I would
sounds like.
think so.
There is more money
For
in
the
college.
top guys.
There's more money in college than some first round picks in the NBA make. You know,
if I'm a walk-on basketball player, and this guy takes minutes away that I fought to earn just because he's chasing money, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
No, like I said, I don't agree with this. It shouldn't happen.
If I'm a player that feels like our team's got really good chemistry and we got a rich booster that says, let's pay this guy in and we can be even better. But it takes minutes away from somebody else.
It does.
That deserves that didn't go to the professional ranks. That's the simplistic way I look at it that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah. I mean, if you just look at all these posts, the recruiting buzz, the recruiting roundup, it's all about G League players the last couple weeks. Like a lot of these guys are realizing that there is a golden goose on the other side of the pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow in college basketball, and they want to run back. Like they've already made their decision. So that's the thing. They've already committed to the G League, signed contracts, got paid by the G League. So why are they allowed to just say, "Oh wait, I don't want to do that. I want to go play college now just because there's more money." So I'm out on that. I'm with Saban. Best thing I saw, Nick Saban saying, "No, not so fast." To the G Leaguers coming into college sports.
All right, best thing Paulie saw, I don't know exactly what it was, but it's something about Saban.
It is. It's about Saban. We got pretty deep in the weeds there, but I enjoyed that.
Terry, any best thing?
Yeah.
You savage?
Yeah. 12 strikeouts for sure. That was amazing. I also really liked Austin Reeves' buzzer beater last night to
in
beat
Minnesota.
the Timber Pups, as you call them.
Now don't adopt that. Let that be his thing.
That's just his thing.
Yeah. Because once you start saying it, it makes him think it's cool.
Hey, the Pups.
He thinks it's cool.
I thought they were down and out. They showed a little fight, little heart there.
Yeah, a little heart.
Yeah.
Chris, our coworker, is a big Timberwolves fan, and he was watching that game late. And he was like, they were down 17 at one point. I was like, I'm going to bed.
I was watching.
You were watching?
I was watching.
Okay.
I was watching, and Austin Reeves is balling out this year.
He had a 50-point game.
You drop a 50 spot in the NBA, you have arrived as an NBA player.
Right.
That's right.
And I don't think the vast people know who Austin Reeves are. Hey, good handles. He's a Laker, but that roster just wasn't very good. And outside of Laker fans, I just don't think everybody realized how good this kid's worked hard in the offseason to improve, and it's showing.
But he's a max contract guy. You know, I think a lot of people forget that. Like, he's not a super max player, but he's a max player, so he should be putting up production.
Yeah.
But 51 points, that's unprecedented for Reeves. I didn't think he could do that.
Do you even remember what college he went to?
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I knew you would know that, but I bet a lot of our listeners probably
I didn't
forgot
remember that. Yeah.
He wasn't a name coming out of college like Cooper Flagg or Zion Williamson or LeBron James out of high school or Kobe Bryant out of high school, Loie Marion. We don't remember that about Reeves. Yes, the diehard college basketball fans knew he, but the vast majority
fans,
didn't.
Like, West Virginia being in the Big 12,
Sure.
I watch a lot of Big 12 basketball.
100%.
So I saw Reeves
But I think
play.
you're the anomaly. I think 70% of the people out there probably couldn't name
outlier.
what college Austin Reeves attended.
I'm the outlier in this.
Yeah, where 100% of college basketball fans could tell you where Cooper Flagg went to college. That's the point I'm trying to make. Don't misconstrue me already in this show, Paulie.
Paulie can remember where every player went to college, but he can't remember where he put his keys or wallet or AirPods.
Isn't that funny?
I know, right?
So we did have a body count from the trip to Highland.
Yeah.
I left my AirPods, two sweatshirts. Well, we're getting better, though. We're working on it. I lost like 7 college IDs, though. That was like the worst. And those things were like $40 a piece. And I would just lose them one after another. And they had a little number by your name on your student ID.
So they know how many you've lost.
And like everyone else's, like random chicks have like 0s and 1. And a lot of my friends have like maybe a 2. And then I've got a 7.
Nice, dude.
So I've always been one to forget things, a little forgetful, but we press forward.
Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. By the way, I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our buddy Caden Formaster.
Yes.
We have a new family member, a part of the Fan Sports Network family. So
the smallest
congratulations
member of the
to
Fan
Caden
Sports
and his wife Anna. They just had a baby last night.
Yes.
Or actually early this morning. Today.
Yeah,
today.
2 a.m. I heard was the actual time.
It happened.
It happened.
That's a life changer, man. I still remember like it was yesterday when your first is born. I mean, it's probably different for the women out there, but for me, it was just the most amazing miracle ever. I think my wife would agree, although I think she was a little busy and a little distracted and probably highly drugged. But for me, it was just like I was like walking on a cloud. And it's just, you're floating around and you're hyperactive, and you know my personality.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is everything okay?
You're already buzzing
You're
around.
wired. And then you should have seen, I don't think I've ever shook so bad as I was trying to cut the umbilical cord. I was so nervous about, just the shaky hands. So congratulations. Don't know the name yet, but we got news that...
So still just baby girl format.
Yes.
Excellent.
Baby girl has been born.
Yes.
Baby girl.
So excited.
Little Drake, little Nokia, crank it up.
There you go.
What song? Isn't that the right Nokia? That Drake song?
What, the Call Me on My Cell Phone?
No, the baby
my-
girl. I can't sing like Drake.
Wait, one more time? Maybe I'll get it this time.
There is a rumor that Paul will be at karaoke at Kabuto Sushi tonight, dressed up in costume. That's the hot take of the rumor around town.
Rumor.
Yeah. All right. We're off and running. Quick break. We're talking sports on the other side.
On the Fan.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is The Drive. Good morning. Show today brought to you out of the Findlay Hyundai Studios. Findlay Hyundai, they got over 20 of the Palisades. They got a great, these things are so hot. They have loaded up. So it's a great time if you're looking for, maybe you've got an addition to the family. Maybe you, you're running the soccer team around or whatever, and you need 7 seats. The Palisade, 7 seats, loaded with tech, brand new sleek body style, and they have it available in a hybrid for fuel mileage. And you can check it out off exit 13 at Findlay Hyundai. They also have interest rates as low as 3.9% on that Palisade. And on the Santa Fe, Tucson, all the remaining 25s in stock, 0% interest. And some of the 26s have 0%. So if you don't want any interest payment, go see what you can get approved for over there at Findlay Hyundai off exit 13. We've got Ken Beezer joining us here in about 5-6 minutes. Athletic director, Utah Tech. Huge announcement yesterday. You know, when we got the announcement that Utah Tech was going to the Big Sky, I, for one, was thrilled. Just absolutely floored because I grew up in the state of Washington. I grew up, I watched a lot of Cooper Kupp at Eastern Washington when he was in college up on that red turf at Eastern Washington. And then, I've obviously I did a 4-year stint with SUU and the broadcast with Art Chalice and got to a lot of the Big Sky venues. And so I'm really familiar. I've been to Montana, been to, Washington Grizzly Stadium, actually been there with Utah Tech and done a game as well. Been there a couple of times, been to Sac State, been to Cal Poly, been to Portland State, done games at all of these venues, been out to Greeley, Colorado, been to the Walk-Up Sky Dome in Flagstaff. I feel like it's a really good football conference, and I think the other sports are going to really enjoy being in the Big Sky as well. But we had some work to do because not all of the sports that Utah Tech has, the Big Sky hosts inside the conference, mainly speaking men's soccer and baseball. They didn't offer baseball. And so Ken Beezer's been working really hard, and yesterday was the day we finally found out they are going to join the Mountain West Conference. Swimming was the other sport that had to be find a home for. So I'm really interested when he joins us here in a few minutes to find out, what went on behind the scenes, how long it took, what were the interesting things along the way, how did this happen? I have so many questions. So Kim Beezer is going to be joining us here in just a moment. On the show. In the meantime, how about you Savage last night? Terry, you kind of mentioned it, the best thing you saw. 6-1, just a dominant pitching performance for this young rookie. Dodgers on the brink, Blue Jays on the brink of winning. And how about 12 1-run, 3-hit baseball?
Yeah, it was
Gave
incredible.
Up just 3 hits and 1 run to that lineup.
Yeah. And 12 strikeouts. It was so good.
Did you
Not
see?
to mention the back-to-back home runs for the Blue Jays, too.
Did you see how lit the Rogers Center was in Toronto? They had that thing full. They had that thing full
party.
to the brim in Toronto.
Yeah.
Unbelievable that they could put 60, 70,000 people there to watch it on the Jumbotron.
Right.
I mean, unbelievable.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so now we get an off day today. It's a travel day.
Yep.
We got game
Go
6 and
Toronto.
7 coming up, and 3-2 lead for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Outstanding work the last couple games.
Do you think they get it done in Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, history shows us
Friday?
in the American League Championship Series, they were down 3-2 and still went back to Toronto and won game 6 and 7.
Yeah.
They were down 3-1 in the 7th of game 7, and they still find a way to win. The bats are there.
Right.
The bats are there. The bullpen for the Dodgers, they got some flamethrowers, but they hit them.
Yeah.
They hit him again last night.
They did, yeah.
I mean, it's a 3-1 lead, and finally Snell kind of runs out of gas, and you got 1 in and 2 on, and you got to go to the bullpen, and it gets worse.
Right.
And that's the second game in a row they've had to go to the bullpen with 2 runners on base, and the Dodgers bullpen has given up runs. I mean, Shohei didn't he left him on base, but he didn't give up all those runs, and that's why Shohei's stats are a little bit misleading. You're bringing in guys you trust to get out of jams, and they can't do it. Now, is that easy to do?
No.
I think it's always advantage hitters, but you would think, hey, advantage pitchers. But with all the analytics nowadays and the scouting charts and things, I think that these pitchers. Blake Snell, did you see after he gave up the back-to-back home runs, how many consecutive off-speed sliders and he didn't 19 straight pitches before he went back to the fastball after they hit his fastball out of the yard. 19.
I'd be a little scared too.
Wow.
I'm sitting there watching and that first part of the game, and they go boom, boom, yard job. And then he didn't throw the fastball for 19 pitches just to try to keep the hitters of Toronto guessing.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, impressive stuff from you, Savage. Dodgers are in a hole. Blue Jays 1 win with 2 home games remaining. First World Series opportunity since 1993 when Joe Carter was walking through that door.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, walking through the door when we come back, Athletic Director Ken Beazer. Got some big news. Really excited to have Ken join us on the program. Mountain West Conference. We'll talk about it for Utah Tech after the timeout. Hey, Throwdown Thursday. Show today brought to you by our friends at Coral Canyon Golf Course. Get out and play. It's peak golf season, so plan ahead. Get your tee times. Coral Canyon is rocking. It was my son's birthday this week, and I took him out to Coral Canyon. Drove down from Cedar, had a couple buddies, and we went out and played for his 21st birthday. I'm getting old, Tara. Anyway, course is absolutely amazing. Call for your tee times, 435-688-1700. That was on Tuesday, and the greens were probably a 10 or 11.
Really?
They were the fastest the greens have been this year.
At Coral Canyon?
Well, yeah, because the weather's finally cooling down, and you don't have to worry about burning your greens up. Like these superintendents, they have a hard job keeping grass green in the summer.
They do,
in St. George.
In the desert, yeah.
And so now it's cooling down at night, and now you can really roll them and tighten them up. And we saw Black Desert rolling at like a 12.5, 13 on the stem all week at the PGA. They're not that fast, but they're still really fast, as fast as they've been.
Yeah.
So go check it out for yourself. Get your tee times, coralcanyongolf.com. Ken Beezer joining us on the program now. We're very excited to talk to Ken because we had some big news yesterday. If you haven't heard, Utah Tech going to the Mountain West in the 3 sports that the Big Sky didn't offer, Ken. And I have a multitude of questions for you, but first and foremost, congratulations on getting the job done. This is exciting news. Just give us overall, maybe some comments on how long you've been working on this.
For about a year. I mean, not necessarily with baseball, but as soon as we made the announcement with the Big Sky Conference, it was a glaring thing. In fact, it was the question you asked.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sitting in this chair when we were talking about the move to the Big Sky Conference, and it was one of the first questions, what do you do about men's soccer and baseball? Now, swimming is in a different conference. Swimming is in the
Rocky Mountain.
They are it's just slipped my mind. The Mountain Pacific Sports Federation.
That's what it's called. That's right.
Yeah, so they've been taken care of. But yeah, that was been ever since we made the announcement going to the Big Sky Conference. This has been first and foremost, and it's been a battle out there. There's still a lot of things going on with conference realignment, and there's going to be more shifting coming up here. But no, really, really pleased to get it done. I don't think we could have handpicked a better situation for us and for the community. I mean, this is big for the community. It really speaks to the community and the growth and the future of the community. Yeah,
I mean, you're going to be seeing some Mountain West teams coming into Bruce Hurst Field in 2027, spring of 2027. When we get into that conference, we won't be playing UNLV at home and home anymore. It'll be a conference game with UNLV. You're going to see Fresno State. You're going to see Colorado State coming in here, Boise State coming in here.
Yeah, I'll clarify that. They're going to the Pac-12.
Oh, Boise State is.
Boise, Colorado State's going to the Pac-12 as well. And actually, Boise and Colorado State don't have baseball.
They don't?
No.
Oh,
really?
They don't have baseball. Same with Utah State.
Lame.
But yeah.
Well, San Jose State better. Fresno State better.
Fresno State's going. Yeah, Fresno State.
San Diego State did not go, right?
San Diego State is in the Pac-12.
They did decide to go. Okay.
So the Mountain West is going to look like this in baseball. It's going to be Hawaii, as you've talked about. UC Davis, which is new coming in, but New Mexico. UNLV, Reno.
Wow.
That's right.
Grand Canyon.
Yeah, Grand Canyon. We keep that rivalry going.
Grand Canyon's going to be
Air
going
Force.
There. So Air Force is part of it as
wow.
well.
Okay.
So yeah, we're not going to be playing those midweek games against UNLV anymore. It's going to be a 3-game set that's part of a conference schedule.
Cool.
It's a full-time job to keep up with conference realignment.
Right.
You wake up in the morning and just check to see what conferences are doing.
Yeah. Yeah. When the Pac-12 got rated, the mad scramble has been on really since that happened. And this is kind of the trickle-down domino effect of that we're still dealing with, really.
Right. Yeah, you could see it. You saw it start to move. I'm going to trace it all the way back to when the SEC, Oklahoma
and Texas.
And Texas. When that happened, that was kind of, it sent a message to other conferences. And all of a sudden people started searching out there. We all know it. It's about TV contracts. It's about football and TV contracts. And the Pac-12.
And that was the Pac-12's undoing.
Yes. They couldn't
Pac-12
get that
network.
They could not get that deal done. And then when the mooring started to shake, it was done. So.
And here we are in 2025 talking about, new conference for baseball, not till 2027. So it takes time. Right. I'm just curious, how many hours, how many phone calls? Give us some perspective on how hard this is to get a couple sports into a new conference.
It's not so much the hours. The hours of worrying and planning and trying to see, that's where the time starts to accumulate.
Okay.
The time actually on the phone, working with ADs, you're calling in every contact you've ever had. And you're trying to position yourself. And as I tell people, nobody is jumping on a sinking ship.
Yeah.
And so you really have to present yourself as an up-and-coming, not only program, but institution and community. You have to be progressive in that. You have to be futuristic in your thought process, and you have to have a vision. Nobody is calling you unless you are Oklahoma, unless you are some of these schools. Nobody's calling you and saying, hey, we got a spot. You want to come in? Unless they think that you can bring something to the conference. And the mere fact that Utah Tech, we're 5 years away from the announcement to go Division I, is being called by the Mountain West Conference, and they're saying, we think you can add some value to us. That's a direct correlation to the community and the institution, the direction we're going.
When did you know it was the Mountain West? When did you know that you wanted to push hard for that versus Big West, West Coast Conference, Summit League, some of these other conferences that I'm sure you at least kick the tires on?
Exactly. I mean, we're out there presenting ourselves to a lot of different conferences. You look at conferences who may have a need, not necessarily a need, but where you could bring value, and you have to really exemplify that value and what you bring, try and build that value. But there are plenty of conferences out there. We wanted to stay in the West, really wanted to stay in the West. That's our recruiting base. And to get a program at the level of the Mountain West Conference in the West, we really could not have handpicked. It was our first choice all along, and it was a battle. We had to there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just, hey, you fit into our regional geographic footprint. There's a lot that goes along with it.
What are some of those things, Ken? Because do we have to do build-outs? Do we have to hire more coaches? Do we have to add seats to stadiums? Like, take me through that process. What are some of the big obstacles that now that it's decided on we'll have to deal with?
Yeah, you look at it as they want to make sure that the program they're building in is bringing in has some value. It's going to add to the conference. Again, nobody wants to bring in that anchor that's going to keep the conference down. And so you're looking at it as coaching. We need to add some resources to coaching. The venue in and of itself, seating capacity is fine. It kind of fits right in there with the mid-level Mountain West Conference. You look at travel budgets. Now you got Hawaii every other week, which is not a week, but a year, which is an added increase to the budget as well with that. But they want to make sure you are committed to the sport because they can't have a bad RPI in the system. You do not want to be that program. And so it was convincing them. It was, they came out. I mean, they came out on Monday. The associate commissioner, Sean Harris, was on campus on Monday. And that's the first time he'd stepped foot on our campus.
Really?
Yeah. And now by that time, we'd already gone down the road and we'd pretty much had something hammered out. But a big piece of this as well was men's soccer because the Mountain West Conference added men's soccer. I don't know if you saw that. They added men's soccer.
And you were hoping they were going to do that.
Yeah, so they added men's soccer, but they needed a sixth team institution, and we were that number 6. So they needed us in men's soccer, didn't need us in baseball. They did not need us in baseball, but they saw that we were able to bring some value to the conference in baseball, and that was the process. That was the 2.5-month process that got us to where we're at today.
So walk me through this just for a second. So he shows up first time on campus. What was his reaction? You walked him around. You took him down to the baseball stadium. You took him to Greater Zion. Like what was the reaction? Obviously, it must have went somewhat well.
Yeah, there are a couple of things that we have at the institution that I will put up against any school, and that is our weight room, our strength and conditioning center, and also our sports medicine. I will put those up against the majority of group of 5 institutions because that's really good. Baseball, it's an older stadium. I mean, it looks new from the outside, but
I love
older.
it though.
Yeah, and so we just have to do some things there. Scoreboard, we got to look at the playing surface. If we're going to
probably go turf,
you talked about
turf.
These greenskeepers through the summer. I mean, it's the same thing in baseball.
Yeah. Fertilizer, weed and feed. You got brown spots. I know.
And so you have to look at that. The amenities for the visiting teams. What's the amenities look like for that? And then your press box, because you're going to have, everybody's coming in with their own radio station.
That's a small press box, actually.
And so there's some things that we have to look at there, but there are also opportunities. What you have to understand in college athletics, unless you're investing in these programs, they're going nowhere. And so it's not just baseball, it's all the programs we have. We have to look at how we're going to invest to be successful. Baseball just right now is at the forefront, getting into the Mountain West Conference.
Paul, I know you got some questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ken, obviously another feather in the cap of joining the Mountain West is rekindling the rivalry with Grand Canyon. That dates back to the Division II days and the Pacific West Conference.
Correct. Yes.
So how does it feel to have the Lopes back in the rotation for the Trailblazers once again?
Thrilled. We have developed quite a relationship with them. In fact, I'll go on record right now as stating that Jamie Boggs, who's the athletic director at Grand Canyon, was probably the one that pushed this across the finish line with the Mountain West.
Wow.
We've got a great relationship. We've done very well with them over the years, and she's the one that I think really carried the water for us at the end of the day.
Wow.
Interesting. That's awesome.
That a rival would go to bat for you. I like that, though.
Yeah.
It's this profession. You have these rivalries, okay? We just came through rivalry with SU, the game this last week, but it's the relationships that you have that have to kind of rise above the actual competition. That's where it all happens. You've got to have friends in the room when they're talking about institutions they want to add. And if they're looking at you and saying, hey, these guys are, jerks, they don't take care of visiting teams when they come in, it's kind of a, crap program, then you're not going anywhere. And so the relationships there also at San Jose State was big in our corner. Coach Feitenauer has good relationship with head coach of Nevada and UNLV. You call upon all these relationships. Now, I couldn't bring Coach Feitenauer in on this till about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And the players found out yesterday. And that's how, quiet this had to be.
Yeah, because if anything goes south, it's not a good look if it gets leaked.
There were so many dynamics in this. You have to understand that the Mountain West Conference AD room right now still includes all those schools that are leaving in the Pac-12. And they're also looking for men's soccer.
Oh.
And so you really can't talk openly about this stuff. It really was just down to just phone calls directly with commissioners, ADs, and it didn't go beyond that. I told my executive staff on Monday, hey, by the way, we got a associate commissioner from the Mountain West Conference coming on campus today. He's going to be here at 1:00, and they're looking at me like. And I said, sorry, I couldn't tell you beforehand, but he's coming here. Make sure your offices are clean and your decks is cleaned down. And we put our best foot forward on this. But so it was interesting because he actually took off his jacket. Sean took off his jacket, had a Mountain West logo on it. He took off his jacket when he was walking around the baseball facility because we had athletes in there. And you can't let anything. Social media is a blessing and a curse. I mean, it can go viral within a nanosecond, and it can really thwart some things. And we had the timing of the announcement. I talked with you, and the timing. We had to do our part. The Mountain West swore us to, hey, this is how the release is going to happen, and you will go by this.
Yeah, but exciting. What was Chris Feitenauer's reaction 2 weeks ago when you told him? Was his eyes kind of light up? Was he like, okay?
It was. I mean, he's excited about it because what he knows it means for the program. It's daunting. I mean, you're the coach on one hand. You're looking at the competition now. I mean, the competition now has just skyrocketed. And so then he looks at me and goes, okay, now what are you going to do, Ken? And, to help out with this program. And so that's where we're meeting on Friday and kind of where we're going to be going and getting some. I already have a small cadre of people in the area who have a great interest in baseball that are going to step up.
Good. It's hard. It's hard because, football, a lot of revenue, big time sport, men's basketball, a lot of fans, big time sport. But you can't forget about baseball, and historically we've had national champions. I mean, we have progressed fast to go from a JUCO powerhouse all the way now to the Mountain West Conference is astonishing to me.
Yeah.
You look at the community and what we've done at the at the club level, at the high school level, and there are a lot of baseball players playing Division I ball and in Major League Baseball right now coming from this area.
Yeah.
And so baseball means something to St. George and Washington County. And so we're going to parlay into that. But part of what we're doing with the stadium is now we have to flip the stadium into a revenue producer. It's not established right now to make any type of revenue. And so we have to now get, specialty seating. We have to look at a press box that has luxury suites. We turned the football stadium into a revenue producer because of the, Greater Zion Stadium, that backdrop you have. You've been up there. You see what it's like.
Right.
And people... It's the most interesting thing. I have people that have no problem paying $500 per ticket, to be up in the box at Greater Zion Stadium. But yet I can't get people to buy a $15 ticket, chairback seat. it's just one of these anomalies that
It's either they want it all or they're just going to get the GA.
So we got to figure out somehow how to increase the value, the perceived value of just a regular reserve seat ticket, because they see the value of other stuff.
Yeah.
So when we look at the baseball field and softball coming up here as well, and we got to do soccer pitch as well coming up, you have to look at how you can turn those venues into revenue producers. They can't just be there and be nice backdrop. They have to be able to produce and turn a revenue, or at least not be a red bottom line.
Right.
Any other questions for Ken, Paul? I feel like I'm hogging all the questions, buddy.
I just wanted to ask about the familiarity with a lot of the teams in the new Mountain West Soccer Conference. Obviously, you're going to have Air Force, Nevada, UNLV, New Mexico, San Jose State, along with newcomers Hawaii and UC Davis. So that should make for a really competitive conference. And what does the move to the Mountain West do, as a broad question, for the profile of Utah Tech?
So with men's soccer, first I'm going to give a shout out to our men's soccer program. We are playing tomorrow. We're playing tomorrow night for the conference championship.
Wow.
I mean, we win that game, we're the conference champs. Even if we, lose that game or draw that game, we can still win it based upon what happens with other teams. But we've put ourselves in a position to where we control our own destiny now with one game left. And for them to do that is truly remarkable. And I'm not, this is not hyperbole here. That what they have been able to do in a conference that's strong. I mean, Grand Canyon, Utah Valley, UNLV, San Diego State, San Jose State, Air Force, Utah Tech is sitting at the top of that conference in men's soccer. And we can take it all tomorrow, the conference championship tomorrow. So shout out to Johnny and what he's done with that program.
Good job, Johnny B.
Yeah, so now we take that. It's basically all these programs are going into the Mountain West Conference, except for San Diego State, because San Diego State now is part of the Pac-12. And that's kind of the issue I talked about with kind of who's in the room when you're talking in the Mountain West Conference. You have to be a little careful with there. So it's the same programs that were in the WAC. And so we're very familiar with them. They're very familiar with us. And that was probably the easiest fit of all. It was a no-brainer. The Mountain West Conference needed to add a men's soccer program, and we're sitting right there, and everybody's familiar with us. And it was, baseball was a little bit tougher row.
Yeah,
soccer was an easier fit.
It was natural.
Yeah,
natural fit, and you could see it coming a mile away. It's just.
Did you have to call some other conference and say, "Hey, thanks for all the conversations and the interest, but we found a home"? Did you have to have those tough conversations?
Yeah, and everybody knows the profession here, and I'm up front with these other conferences. We have other options out there that we think are better. And as I mentioned earlier, the Mountain West Conference was our top option. I was telling conferences, and it's not like they were knocking down our doors, all right? I mean, they weren't knocking down our doors. It's everybody's kind of feeling around, trying to see what options are out there for them. And a lot of these conferences, we weren't their first option. And some of the conferences, when I reached out to them, they're like, no, thanks. It was that quick of a conversation. No, thanks, not interested. Good luck. And basically it was that long.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking with other conferences, it's the same thing, talking about relationships. It's just being upfront. Hey, for our institution, this would be the best for us. However, if this doesn't come through, and they're telling me the same thing. You're not our first option, but hey, if this doesn't happen, we may come knocking on the door to you. And it's always these what ifs.
Yeah.
You can always tell when somebody's kicking the tires. When you have a friend from another institution call you, it's not the conference office, and they're just kind of feeling out a little bit, and then they go, hey, what are you going to do with men's soccer? And you know that the conference commissioner put them up to that. You just kind of, it's kind of like agents. Agents are always out there, but the kid can never say, oh, I never contacted them, but the agent is.
Yeah.
is the way things are happening. But no, those are the conversations you have, and you really, you're not their first choice. They know they're not your first choice, but still, it may end up that way. Everybody has a recruiting board, and sometimes you get down to that fifth kid because the other kids are choosing elsewhere.
Yeah,
but that fifth kid, all of a sudden, that fifth kid becomes
the top priority at that point.
He all of a sudden, you need that kid now.
Yeah,
you didn't need him last week, but now you need him.
Yeah. Good stuff. Ken Beazer, everybody. Ken, thanks for coming by.
You're welcome. It's always a pleasure.
It's always fun. It's always fun. Keep us in the loop. I know, your job never stops, so I'm sure you're on to the next project, and can't wait to see baseball, men's soccer in part of the Mountain West. Pretty cool. And then the Big Sky and everything else. So all 17 sports have a home.
They do.
At Utah Tech now.
They do.
Good stuff. Ken Beazer, everybody got to take a break. We'll be back rounding out hour 1 after this.